So my glasses correction has gone up. Hi, I'm Gemily, an EndMyopia student. I am following Jake Steiner's EndMyopia method of natural vision improvement to get my eyes back to 20/20 vision and life without glasses. If you would like to know more, I'll pop some links in the description down below. So, what is this? My correction has gone up. Isn't this whole thing meant to be about getting your correction to go down? Well, yes it is. But part of the balance of this whole thing is learning to listen to your eyes and figure out what they want. A couple of weeks ago, I went down a correction in my glasses. I went from my 4th pair of my normalized glasses to my 5th pair of normalized glasses. So in case you've just stumbled upon this, normalized glasses are glasses that are slightly weaker than the correction that your eyes need. A tiny bit weaker. Now, I thought my eyes had pretty much adjusted to the glasses that I was wearing and that it was time to drop my correction again. So I went from a pair of glasses that was -1.7 in my right eye and -2 in my left eye to a pair of glasses that were -1.7 in each eye. It's a very exciting step, my final equalization, finally getting both eyes underneath that -2 mark. So why have I decided to go back to -2 in my left eye? When I made this reduction, I really thought that it was the right time. I was seeing everything really clearly. There was no blur challenge left. I had nothing to active focus on. When I was checking my Snellen, both eyes were doing pretty well. My right eye was better, but it is my dominant eye. It is good at things. And my left eye seemed to have plateaued. And previously, when I've given them a little push by dropping another step, they have started moving again and kept following me down the diopter ladder. So I thought it would work fine this time. So I changed to my current pair of normalized, my 5th pair of normalized, I like to call them my N5s, 20 days ago. Maybe it's just a really typical part of this process that 3 weeks in, I'm like, nah, this isn't working, I'm gonna change back. But I don't think it's the same. I've had it for 3 weeks and there has been some improvement, but when I first changed into my current N5s, my 5th pair of normalized glasses on the 4th of July, which is actually, over 20 days ago. That's like 23 days ago. So over 3 weeks. When I first changed into them, my left eye, which is the only one I'm really paying attention to because that's the only one I'm messing with between these two corrections, my left eye was 47 centimeters. That's what it measured. Since then, it's gone 43, 49, 46, 48, 46. So over the course of 3 weeks, it's really been all over the place, which is fine, but I would have liked to have seen more of an upward trend. I measured this yesterday, thinking that I've done so much active focus, my vision has cleared up so much. When I look, it doesn't look messy anymore. When I first made this equalizing step, because of the blur of my left eye and the clarity of my right eye, my vision didn't look blurry, but it also didn't look clear. It just looked like I could see things clearly, but there was mess all around them. That's gone away, so it feels like I've made improvements. So when I measured my left eye, I really expected to see some progress. And I know often the visual acuity comes before the measurements change. At least that is my experience. But when I did the measurements and that actually gone down since I first changed the glasses, and I checked the Snellen and I don't see a lot of improvement in the Snellen, like potentially none, maybe a little bit, but maybe not. It's pretty bad. For a little context, in my N5s with my right eye, so that's -1.75 correction, on my Snellen, I can read all of the 20/20 line, easy, and even the 20/15 sometimes. With my left eye, with the same correction of my N5s, -1.75, I can read the 20/50 line. It's a little blurry, but it's readable. The 20/40 line I can usually get, not always. The 20/30, yeah, if I am patient. The 20/25, it has to be a very good day indeed, and the 20/20 is still way out of reach. So I feel like this is just a little bit too much. We're on a regular day, not a great day, but on a regular day, I can read maybe 20/40 in them. It should be all right, but it's just a bit too much blur for me, especially when my right eye is so clear. And when I'm seeing clearly and I'm like, yes, I'm doing it, it's amazing. And then I cover my right eye oh, it's still a mess in my left eye. So I think it's just my brain has adapted to rely a lot less on the input of my left eye. So I actually don't know if this most recent equalized reduction is really going that well. I think maybe it's actually hurting my progress. But there are a couple of things which probably made this attempt less than ideal. Firstly, it was an equalizing step. So while I am dropping my left eye to try and encourage it to keep going, my right eye correction stayed the same. This means that my left eye can just kind of be lazy if it wants and let my right eye do all the work. Like, why bother? But that alone shouldn't really have held me back. I have active focus. I like to go outside and get some nice outdoor time, some nice distance vision in. I try and do some patching every day, just, 15 minutes a day to encourage that left eye to keep engaging, keep going. Besides being an equalized reduction, which in my experience is a little bit trickier anyway, just for the old eyes to work out, there's a couple of other things going on that are complicating the mix here. One of them is that it is, for me in Australia, the middle of winter. I've heard of other people's gains slowing down during winter, and this is in fact my first winter doing this because I started this in September last year, which for me was spring. This is my first EndMyopia winter. But the people that I've heard slowing down in their progress during winter, I get the impression are more like people from the UK, people from Europe. Like, I live in Australia. Even though I live in a cold part of Australia, it's still pretty darn sunny most of the year. But in the last couple of weeks, it actually has been a bit more overcast. So what I would look at in full sun and think, I can clear that up, that's not so hard. In overcast light, oh, that is way too much blur. That's not something I can work with, not something I can play with. It's just fuzz. Done. Also, the hours of daylight are shorter. It's a lot colder outside, so I'm less motivated to go out for my walks. And when I do go out for them, I don't really want to stay out for 3 hours anymore. As well as this, because it's cold, I've had to concede and turn my heating on a lot more often, and which is making my eyes a lot more dry, and that is not helping. Throwing that into the mix, because when my eyes are dry, it definitely affects my vision. That, and I'm also getting a little bit busier at work again now that the lockdown is kind of easing. So I have a lot less of that flexible time. I mean, still tons in comparison to what it was before lockdown, but just my days aren't vast, empty wastelands for me to fill with beautiful things anymore. Overall, this is compounding to make me think I might follow the lead of not and go back up a step for a short period of time. So it's back to my N4s for me. I'm hoping that a week, maybe 2 of these will just give my left eye that little bit of extra time it needs, that little bit of extra clarity to prompt it into what I want it to be seeing in my N5s. So that's what I'm doing now. We'll see how it goes. No surprises here. Learning through my experience the hard way exactly what Jake told us, which is wait for your non-dominant eye to catch up. Don't reduce too soon. Even though it seems some way like a backward step, I don't feel it like a backward step. I feel like I'm doing a really good job of listening to my eyes, paying attention to what they're seeing, paying attention to how they're responding, and working out what they might need. I'm just really stoked that I have come to this point where I feel like I understand my vision so well. This is so much thanks to Jake, with, help from the other EndMyopia students who have made videos who I've learned from. Thank you so much for all your mistakes, not. They definitely help me. So that's my update for this week. I will be back next week with more EndMyopia content, whether it's about my journey or EndMyopia journeys in general. Subscribe to find out. So in the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye! Lazy eye. Booked not lazy eye. Okay, sure. I love my logbook so much. It is my favorite book. That is sad. Well, now it's embarrassing. The improvements kind of slow down. The curve flattens, to use current terms. Culturally relevant. Well, not even culturally. Temporarily relevant? Temporarily relevant? Contemporarily relevant? Relevant. Anyway, I like far less how to recover from this this is not actually that helpful. That's not what I want. Ugh, but no.